Okay, we may get a few others, but we'll start. So let's have a look here, make sure I've got my buttons in the right place. Yep. Right. Okay, so I'm Nicolas David, man of the Centre for Conscious Ascension. Welcome to this free webinar, Opening to Your Flow of Abundance. And tonight we're going to sort of look at how you can clear the programs preventing the flow of abundance in your life. But this very much depends on what our intention as a group is. So what I'd like to hear from you guys is, all the courageous ones who are happy to speak, is just what brought you, where are you, and what brought you here, just very briefly. And what issues are you facing or you want to address? Because our group intention sets the energy for the webinar, because it's quite a strong healing webinar. So by contributing to the intention, it's more likely it's going to happen for each and every one of you, okay? So who would like to start? No, Colin, you go for it. Just unmute and speak your mind. Bottom left.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep, real clear. Go for it.
Hi, David. Good evening. I hope you're well.
Yeah.
Okay, what brought me here? A continuous and ongoing block that has been present throughout my life.
Yep.
With regard to monetary abundance.
Yep.
I have no problem whatsoever in attracting opportunities. In fact, they come thick and fast, but almost without fail. In fact, totally without fail. Some magical force sabotages them. And believe me, this has been happening over decades, and I have tried so many things, so many modalities, EFT, Tony Robbins, I mean, it goes on, list goes on and on. And I came across you fairly recently.
Yeah.
It's ironic because if you're involved in On-10s, that's where I was born.
Yep.
Where I grew up, went to school. And I'm very interested in the possible blocks in the soul contract and how to deal with that, because I'm just sort of searching for whatever it is that's preventing me from manifesting what I want to manifest in my life.
Okay.
I meditate regularly. I do my very best to, write my goals down. I do all the normal sort of positive things, but I seem to get so far and then no further, no matter what I do.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it, really.
Okay. Sounds like what I've been through for most of my life as well. So.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, thank you, Colin. Okay, who would like to go next? Jennifer, you know me pretty well. Just want to unmute and then.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you.
So, yeah, I had a really an entire week of a lot of clarity. I've gone through a really, really significant dissension, and I understand with clarity now that it is, programming, and it is clearing the body, and it is all of those things that have been blocking me are ready to be cleared. And I understand it and I get it, but I am nailed to the present moment right now. And every single coping skill seems irrelevant in this moment. I'm like nailed to this present moment.
What do you mean by that, Jennifer?
I feel like I'm nailed to a cross, and I'm having to face like every single thing that needs to be cleared. And it's humbling, and it's unfolding, and I'm all of my coping skills and every tool that I have, I am really trying to stay grounded and stay in the moment, but it's pretty difficult.
Okay. All right. Sounds like you're ready for something to clear then.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Joanna. Bottom left. Yeah.
Hello. Let's see here. So the last time I was with you on the healing webinar, my challenge was when I felt like something would come up in my past, a past memory, and I thought I cleared it, and you had walked me through on the stupa path.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I felt like, you know, why am I dealing with this again? And so on and so forth. And so I took note on what you said on, you know, I haven't regressed. It's just, don't judge it and just, you know, let it be. So, to make a long story short, a week after the healing webinar, I finally got comfortable with accepting yoga and to get more, I guess, centered. I just needed help with that because I was so much on what's wrong with me, what else is going to come up, and being prepared and being survival and so on and so forth. So anyway, I found a really good yoga teacher, and the method of the yoga is Kundalini yoga. And I just finished a 40-day challenge, and that challenge was challenging me on my own discipline and commitment to myself that I'm going to be, you know, okay. And anything else that comes up on what hurts so much as far as abandonment and rejection, I am now embracing it with more love and compassion, and just using that as a stepping stone to being more comfortable on co-creating my life. And I want not just to affirm that I have this partnership with the universe, I want to not be timid anymore and be open now because my past is behind me. And little things have been coming up of a memory, but I embrace it now with more love, and I just let it go. It's more easier. I let go of the judgment like you have suggested. I hope that makes sense.
It does. How does it feel to let go of the judgment?
Lighter.
Yeah.
I feel lighter, you know, and yeah, it's just, it's humbling. I get, the more I let go, the more I get filled up with supreme love is the bottom line.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see if we can take you a little bit further up. That's super on that journey today. So, okay.
Time, and I really need to. My kids are much older now, and get back into that. And I don't want to just get a job. I want to do something that I really know and love and am passionate about. And I know I have something to offer, but I am trying, and I don't know what's blocking it. I don't know when that abundance is going to happen, but I feel like I'm on the cusp of something, and it needs to manifest. And I've been meditating and doing reconnective healing and all sorts of different, you know, modalities. And thought I'd give this a shot and see what's come of it. So I'm just open to whatever happens.
Okay, we'll see what we can do, Deborah. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so one more person here. Hang on. Someone dropped out and has joined again. Oh no, they haven't. Okay, who else would like to share why they're here? And you can either speak or you can just put it in the chat box at the bottom, and I'll read it out if you want. We've got Rosalind, Nancy, if you'd like to contribute, because then it sets intention for you in terms of getting what you need from the webinar. But you don't have to say anything you don't want. It's entirely up to you. Amber as well, if you'd like to say. Rosalind, you're unmuted. Hello, how are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I've got a bit of a weak internet signal. Things are going a bit faint from time to time.
You're clear enough.
Oh, good. I need to sort out my home and garden space, and I make progress, and then I stop, and I make progress, and I stop, and I make progress, and I stop. And I'm not quite sure what's getting in the way. So I need to look at clearing that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what we can do. Okay.
Thanks.
And anyone else want to share either with voice or on the chat? There's a little chat box at the bottom. You just click on it and then just
Hi.
type away. Nancy, hello.
Hi. So I'm actually very good at manifesting when I make a decision that I want something. And my issue seems to be that I get what I need when I need it, and I don't seem to have excess, so it's always like I don't have a big savings, which that I it's sort of like when I need cash, it comes in, and sometimes it's very miraculous, and I'm very thankful for it. However, it seems like I don't have like a backup or more than what I need. So I think that would be like my issue. That things come, which is great, and I would also like to have more so that I can not feel so limited in what I'm able to do.
Okay.
Or even just the idea of it, I guess you could say, because there really is no limits. It's more, the 3D personality thinking that, with the well, the physical animal has its own fears of like security and things like that. We want to make sure that we have everything that we need. So while I have faith that things will come when I need it, I would also like to not have to be like, do I have to like make sure that I don't overspend, or make sure that I, with the limit thinking when you don't have a extra. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see what we can do there.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to share?
Hi guys.
Okay. Rosalind, who's that? Amber.
Hello.
Amber, yeah. Go for it.
Hi guys, how are you today? I have kind of a dual situation going on. I have a job which is kind of getting me by, but it's also aggravating a health condition I have, leading me to have no energy. And so I'm in a position where I need to sort of break out of this and find an employment that's more in alignment with my higher self, where I can share myself in a way that's more beneficial to others and doesn't leave me drained. Right now I feel like I'm kind of caught in a loop of being too tired to look for a different job, but really needing a different job to go forward in my life. So in a nutshell, that would be it.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for sharing, Amber.
Thank you.
All right. So anyone else want to share, or we can put it on the chat? So everyone shared. You guys are pretty brave. I think everyone said something that you all have. Well done. Okay. All right. So let's start. I'm going to share the screen now with the presentation. Just make sure we get everything in the right place here. So here we are. And you can ask questions through the presentation. Just put your audio on, and if you haven't got your camera on, just ask me a question or put it in the chat. Okay, it's meant to be interactive. So just switch something out here. Just a minute. My backup recording computer's not working, so I'm just going to switch it off. It's a bit noisy. Just a minute. So, opening to the flow of abundance. Let's talk about this. Okay. So, this is what brought you here, guys. And most of you said you feel like something special for you to do here in the world, and you're faced with a challenge of normal 3D life. Okay. And sometimes it's hard to rely on the universe to give you what you need, or give you enough of what you need when you need it. And so what we're really going to do is overcome the fear and the ego of stepping into the life you really desire. So you can sort of let go and open to the flow of abundance and deliver your gift of service to the world. About 20 years ago, I was sitting in my office in the corporate world in London, and I'd been in this job for 7 years in high-tech satellite space industry, and I was feeling a bit dissatisfied about things. I definitely had the 7-year itch, and this cloud drifted by on this beautiful blue sky day in the shape of an angel, about 200 feet long, and basically it's a sign, really, trying to say to me, it's time's up. And a few weeks later, I was on holiday in Spain, and this lovely bright orange sunset, or sunrise actually, in the Sierra Nevadas. And I got up that morning, I was at a spiritual retreat, and I realized I couldn't do this job anymore. So I had to step into the life that I really desired, which was to leave that job and do what I'm doing now. And it was pretty scary. But the universe had made the job pretty uncomfortable. It wasn't as good as it used to be. So I had to learn to let go and trust, really, and move into the place I'm in now. And so it was a matter of stepping out and trusting and praying the bills will be paid, which is quite challenging when you've had a normal job, and then having to learn to run this whole new business, which was quite challenging. So I had a lot of issues, a lot of feelings of not feeling worthy of the flow and not trusting in the flow. So I had to start to step out there and take that risk, really. And at that time, divine healing, which is a tool which we have at the Centre for Consciousness Ascension, developed by Ariel Hilaire, used to work with me at the Centre for Consciousness Ascension. I didn't have this tool, so it was pretty slow to actually clear my programs. I had a sort of a basic form of cellular healing. But then this came into being in about 2006, divine healing. It was channeled from source to actually provide a very powerful multidimensional healing system. And its purpose is to open us to grace from the high dimensions, and with a very simple, quick and profound, accurate set of healing tools to clear all the stuff in us, in this case this evening, so to help you get into the flow so you can actually deliver your gift. Because there's a deep soul urge within us to deliver our love, our gift, and which is initially at odds with our life. Could be just trying to make a living, doing a job we don't particularly like, but we've got to pay the bills, feed the kids, pay the mortgage, whatever it is. And so the purpose of this is to free us from all the programs our ego puts in place and reconnect us to spirit at all levels, and to become self-empowered and enlightened eventually. Because if we clear enough of the programming stopping the flow of abundance, then we become much more conscious and eventually enlightened. And the more you connect to the higher consciousness of who we are, the more will flow in your life. And in this matrix, earthly matrix, the program of money is very strong. It's like everything revolves around it, which leads to massive distortions in the way people behave and what they do. Whereas really we're meant to be moving towards love and consciousness, really. And money would flow anyway, because money is like love, really. But we seem to have really got it messed up. So in terms of being on the spiritual path, it's very rare to have savings for most of us. But what happens is, as we get clearer, everything gets paid for on an as-needed basis. It's just the ego has to let go and trust, really. And it's been my experience for 20 years. Everything seems to just get paid for, not much more. So I really need something, the money will turn up. Otherwise, it's not there. It's been like, it had been like that for a long time. It's getting a little better now. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to explain how divine healing works. Then we're actually going to work on your issues that you've set intention for the other half. But I need to give you a bit of structure for what we're doing here. Because it's really important to turn in towards and understand the fundamental underlying program, and all of it deeply buried in our subconscious, that's sabotaging us, like preventing you from getting to where you want, stopping a lot of you getting what you want. And that's the key. You've got to turn into it. Whereas the human ego is designed to avoid feeling any of that and keeping us stuck, keeping us separate from higher consciousness. So in understanding and transforming this programming, That's how you make those deep soul urges, those dreams come true. That's how you develop and fully live your vision. That's how you can heal deeply, completely and easily. And to be honest, this is not an easy path. This is challenging, okay? But I think it's even more challenging to stay stuck and stay in the same old pain every day, which is what most human beings do. So I'd rather get on with the journey, which is what I've been doing. And ever since I learned divine healing in 2006 with Almira, now I teach it. It's my life has radically changed because I finally found the tool. We'd been looking for this massively powerful tool. We knew it was out there to help us clear our own egos because we had some really heavy duty programming stopping us getting on with our mission, delivering our gift. Because when you clean up enough of the ego, you reconnect to your true essence. You tap into those gifts and qualities, that special thing which we have the strong drive in our heart to deliver to the world. And as we do that, we do start to experience more love, joy, fun and aliveness. And then when we move into that now moment, we're opening to the flow of abundance. And we become the master of our life. And basically we become in charge, we become sovereign because we're following in each moment the feeling from our heart rather than what the matrix tells us we should be doing. And then we can deliver our gift of service to the world. So I'm just being realistic here. It takes time. There's no quick fix to this. No matter what anyone slick internet marketing tells you, there is no quick fix. You've got to do the work. And it's just being really honest with you. Otherwise, you're just making someone else rich by paying them money for something they will find very challenging to deliver to you, unless their tools really get in there and peel the ego onion, which lots of tools out there which do that. So essentially, your soul creates this ego onion here. And this is the essence, this is the true essence of who you are here. And this ego onion is a filter that limits how you can express the love within to the world. And it blocks the flow coming to you. So the key thing is to peel this onion to get what you desire at the deepest level. So how do we grow an onion like this? How did this come about? So, well, here's how. We'll just talk about how we go about peeling the onion first. So most of you just have described here sitting in the mud of life, all the challenging stuff that's got you stuck down. Okay, living in the moment, hoping to get by, struggling, having some hope. It happens for most of us. That was my life mainly. And so this is about accepting all the things which are not quite working, all the mud, all the emotional separation. Could we use a Buddhist model here? It's not bad, all the stuff like the Judeo-Christian polarity consciousness model. It's just energy. And our job is to transmute this energy into lotuses, into our lovely gifts, because lotuses grow out of the mud by bringing consciousness to it. So we turn it into the mud. We've got to dive into the mud to get everything that you guys have basically been talking about. Someone else has just joined us. Hi, Loretta. Just joining you to the webinar there. So, how do we create this? Here's how we created it. What we did was that we come from source here. All that is. And source wanted to know itself more. So it created an out-breath of itself. This is on the 12th dimension. I think this is a level of vibration. We're on the 3rd dimension. This is us tonight here. And so it basically densified its consciousness through time and space, or it created time and space, and gradually got denser and denser to the point that we got to us in the 3rd dimension where we forgot this is where we come from. And that we think we're small, limited human beings in these bodies, trying to make a living, trying to get by. But actually our job is to break free of this and wake up in consciousness and ascend in consciousness back to source. And to open a channel to source. Because when you open this channel up, that's when the flow of abundance comes to you. That's when life starts to flow. Because down here, we are like a projection of the higher dimensional part of us into this reality, but we just got locked up in our ego and our onion over here. So peel the onion, embody more of higher consciousness, then the flow will come. All right. So this is the astral plane. This is what you see in the Hollywood movies where people go after they die. They got a tunnel of light. That's where they go there. And this is the fifth dimension. This is where we are connected to everything. We feel we're part of everything, oneness. And that's where true abundance comes from. And the point I want to make is that abundance doesn't come from this earthly reality. It comes by opening to higher consciousness, by clearing the ego. And then this flow of consciousness comes in, and this reality is like the matrix is like a three-dimensional projection screen. It rearranges around whatever's coming through you, consciously or unconsciously. So if you bring through high consciousness, then the reality is going to rearrange around that, and some good stuff is going to start to appear in your life.
Nicolas, can you describe the interference zone a little bit?
Oh yeah, the interference zone. This is at the lower end of the astral plane. The interference zone is energies, astral beings and energies which are designed to stop you from connecting to higher consciousness, to keep you locked in this reality. Okay, and other ones you're struggling against a lot of the time to wake up. They hold your programs in place. Okay. All right. So here are the three core programs, three primary separation programs which we as humans all carry, which are stopping the flow for you. Because when you descend in consciousness, you have to fall from grace or from heaven, whatever you want to call it. The first thing we feel is that we feel abandoned by God. The very act of being born creates a feeling of separation, of being abandoned by God. Okay? And therefore, the next thing that happens is that we feel, oh, God's abandoned me, so I don't feel worthy to be loved by God because God kicked me out of heaven. This is a spiritual God. Okay? And then the next thing we happens is that we don't trust God because we got abandoned, we don't trust it, him or her, and we don't feel worthy of the love of God, and we feel mistrust. So everything on the program you carry comes off these three programs. So if you can consciously address these three programs, this is how you get the flow going in life. And this webinar specifically is about the mistrust of the flow, of God's flow. Okay. This is actually a summary of what builds our ego, and everything else is a subset, some combination of all these three programs. Just the very fact of being in a body. So what do most people do as a result of being born and having all this stuff? Well, most human beings, 98% of human beings, avoid feeling the pain of abandonment, mistrust, and unworthiness. They numb out, they have addictions, they do unconscious stuff. And you notice that people who aren't on the spiritual path, they tend to grow older faster than, say, us, because we've been working on our stuff, and life gets really hard. People get bitter, they find it tough. So the next type is light workers who are aware of their programs. Okay, it's 2 or 3% of the population. Higher frequency souls who have come here to help awaken people. I'm bringing in consciousness here. Most of us, our ego tends to judge and feel bad about our programs. That's what most people do who are a bit more conscious. But this very judgment, this feeling bad about it, actually locks the program even more. So the key to peeling your onion is resonate and own the program first. Bring feeling consciousness to it. Find out where it came from. So you're targeting the program. And that is the beginning of the transformation of that program. And that's the last thing the ego wants to do. Because its job is to keep you separate from higher consciousness for as long as possible. To see if you can break through. So how do we bring feeling consciousness to this? To heal the programs blocking the flow, first you need the willingness, desire and courage, which you will have because you're here. Then identifying the issue. We identify it by bringing our consciousness to it and feeling it. Okay, so in this case, it's the fear of stepping into the life you really desire, which has brought you here, or some variation on that. Because if you could 100% feel that program, and whatever permutation of it you have, then it will dissolve. Because all the soul wants to do is experience going from not trusting or having the fear of stepping into the flow to trusting. And that's actually what it wants. It wants a visceral human experience of doing that. Okay, because that's what the soul's journey is all about. It's all about having these shifts in consciousness from one polarity to another, from not trusting to trusting in this case. And so the ego's onto this, and so it says, "Oh, can't have that." So it puts this energy of this turquoise emotional ice around the program, so it's hard to break through. Okay, because you can't feel it, you can't heal it. So people numb out emotionally. So we have addictions, and there's all sorts of protective mechanisms the ego puts in place. So what you got to do is you got to break through those protective mechanisms, and we use divine healing to actually, we work in a group when we do divine healing, which is what we're going to do tonight. You break through that ego defense mechanism and you penetrate into the program and feel it. And then things start to let go. All right. Okay, that's the power of working in a group. It's much more powerful. Okay, we have 9 of us here tonight, so it's 2 to the power of 9 is the power of us working together to clear programs compared to one of us working by ourselves. That's a big difference. And we ask for spirit to bring grace. We ask higher consciousness to help us. Because in this reality, ask and you shall receive. But you've got to ask, because it's a free will zone. If you don't ask, nothing's going to happen. Okay? It's going to clear. So, let me show you the mechanism for creating the flow in your life. So here's how we're built. This is an Indian model. So there's 2 parts of us involved here. There's our higher permanent self. And that's made up of an atomic body or God self, a Buddhic body, a higher emotional body, and a non-linear mind, which just knows stuff. Like Mozart got his symphonies at 7 from here. And then it's connected with this blue line here called the Antakarana. This energy connects us to the personality impermanent us in this reality, which has a mental body, the linear ego mind, an emotional body, 7 energy bodies, and the physical body. This is us. And we're in this bit here having to deal with what has been created here. Okay? And it's full of emotional separation here. And all these programs here are keeping our frequency down. They're preventing us accessing this higher consciousness, which is the key to getting into the flow. So what do? What we do is this. If we start to heal the issues in here and raise the frequency of the lower self, what happens is this Antakarana opens up. Unconditional love starts to flow. Life starts to get better. Because as love flows through us, life starts to come to us. Okay? The financial flow starts to improve. Because love and money are the same thing. And all sorts of other good non-financial things start to happen as well. Really interesting people turn up. And we keep doing this and keep opening up the Antakarana by clearing this down here, which is what we do with divine healing. This gets even bigger, so life gets even more graceful because the unconditional love loves all the remaining programs and they let go. And as we let go, our frequency rises till you get to the point here of here, and this is the place where the ego has totally dissolved. Okay, the Antakarana is at maximum width. It's pure love coming through from the higher self. And this is going out into the reality, so life is really happening in a lovely way here at this stage. Okay? Because this flow is coming through. The matrix is rearranging around this really powerful flow of love and bringing you everything you need. Everything you need. And the ego has surrendered by this stage. This is called enlightenment, or getting as close to it as you can. So the ego becomes surrendered, and becomes the servant of the higher self, the Atmic Buddhic body and the non-linear mind. And so the love of the higher self coming through and your own surrender to that love creates everything you need in your life. Brings the flow, brings your gift of service, brings great opportunities. When the time is right, life opens. I'll give you an example. In about 2010, I had this urge to write my book, Your Soul Contract Decoded, which has become an Amazon #1 bestseller. And it was just a seed from the higher self. And it had been tweaking me with it for many years, but then it became clear I needed to write this. So I started. And then all sorts of interesting things were, I'd done 4 years of clearing with divine healing by then. And that was the early days of it. And then the higher self, through this flow of this energy here, it started manifesting, meeting all the right people. I met the right publishing consultant from a workshop. She introduced me to my publisher, who rang me up in 3 days after sending the manuscript and said, we want to publish this. And then other people in America found out about it. And we got networked in America. I got to go and shot 5 shows with Gaia.com already. That really took the book out there. So all the right things started to open and flow as a result of opening to this higher consciousness and just going with what felt right in the heart. And I'd gone from barely making a living to actually no longer getting any more debt. I had a lot of debt when I first started this business, so I didn't know how to run it, to actually getting it under management and actually getting my gift out in the world. So I knew from that it can be done. But I just had to follow the flow of the higher self to do that. And it's not a linear flow, it's this here. And I'm going to drink here. So our Western minds are very conditioned to follow the path of the ego, the path of suffering, because our little ego here thinks, I've got to figure this whole thing out up against the whole universe. So we on this dotted line, and life's challenging when it's like that. Very challenging. It doesn't always work out well when we're following the ego. Half the time you make the wrong decisions, as you might have noticed, because the ego is not very good at working out what to do. So when I was doing divine healing, I started to expand into the vastness of spirit. I was very left brain. I used to try and figure everything out, and I looked at it, and half the time it didn't work. So I thought, not working too well. And so when I learned divine healing here, I started to make the shift to this line here, which is following what we call the spiritual signature, the path of bliss, starting to open to the flow of abundance. So our mirror, it was because she was feminine, very much followed the heart. She taught me, because we were married for 8 years, she taught me to gradually follow the flow of the heart. And in each moment, it took me years, because I was a pretty slow sort of man, we're a bit thick as me. It took me ages to move out of my left analytical brain to actually following what opened my heart in each moment. So I gradually converged on the spiritual signature, which is one right heart-based action each moment. And I gradually learned to flow with this and converge. And the more you converge on it, the more life opens. And that's actually how you create the flow. You cannot force it. You cannot take it from anybody. You cannot affirm it if you don't believe it at a feeling level. It doesn't work. So you've got to fundamentally clear enough of the ego programming here so you move out of this so the ego surrenders to the flow of spirit. And if you do this, which is very much a curve, it's not a linear process. The mind will try and think, we'll go here, 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 here. This follows a curve. You just got to be present in each moment to the next right action and clear the programming in the way of that, getting better and better, and then life will open and flow for you. And even in the most difficult situations, I've had some very difficult situations, being taken to court by finance companies and stuff like that. But I just kept doing this, and eventually all that went away and got into the flow here. But it's taken a while. But this is actually how you create the flow, by moving from the path of the ego to the path of following the spirit. This is the most important diagram I want to show you tonight. and divine healing got me there. Okay. So what happens when you do this? Well, what happens is this. Our emotional blockages from the ego onion, they block our life force. They steal our life force because our life force is taken up by having to hold on to these patterns, childhood wounds, all the stuff. We're all brought up in different degrees of dysfunction in our families. I don't think there are any functional families to get specific types of karmic programming put into us. This could be the fear of stepping into your life. But this basically steals our energy, these programs, which results in low energy, pain, and limitation. So we've got to clean all this up. Okay. So what happens is that when we release these emotional blockages, the life force starts to free up. More life force means life starts to flow, which is the key. More life force means you can manifest more because you're bringing consciousness to it. And it's a positive feedback loop. The more you clear, the more you get freer. Okay? Which is what we're going to do right now. So are there any questions so far on the process? The idea of the process, because we're actually going to go and do the process now. Just turn your microphones on if you have any questions. Anyone? No? Okay. Let's do the process. So now we're going to have a direct experience of divine healing. Okay. So what I've done is I've opened the divine healing space before we started today, and I've cleared the energy in your spaces. I've aligned you to your higher self. And the first thing we're going to do is that we are going to clear some of this astral interference stuff, programming, which is around you, holding your programs in place. So I'm going to clear a whole bunch of these energies and beings quietly. And what I want you to do is just to have your feet flat on the ground, take your shoes off if you've got them on. And I want you to feel in your body, just breathe through your mouth. Just feel what's happening to you. And some of it can be quite physical sometimes, and it's okay. And we'll sort of talk about it a bit later. Okay? So we're done quietly, but I just want you to be present with yourself. And there's 3 types of energies we're going to remove. Okay? So the first type are what we call earthbound souls. And these are beings who have left the physical body, which has died, and they're hanging out with you because you carry a similar resonance to what the original host body was carrying. So we're going to clear these guys out now, okay? So this will just be done quietly, so okay? Can you feel the energy shift? We're now going to place a second group of beings. We're just checking in on us. Now we're going to release discarnate entities and other energy attachments which are slowing you down, okay? Feel the energy shift. We're going to take these beings away now. You keep breathing through your mouths. You can open your eyes now when you're ready. We'll have a little sharing to see how that is. Okay, we've got one more person joining us. So I'd just like to hear from you guys how that was. So anyone can go, just switch on your mic and just say who you are, and then just like to hear a little feedback here. Joanna?
Hello. I felt on the first two energies leaving, it was like a wave, it wasn't anything harsh or anything. It was just a real easy wave. They were just floating by. And then on the third one, I felt some pressure alleviating from my throat chakra.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Anyone else want to share how that was? Jennifer? Let me try at this end. Oh yeah, that's worked. Got you now.
I felt a lot of pressure in my sacrum.
Yep.
And then a lot of pressure in my head. And then I felt dizzy.
Yep. Yeah. That's these energies and beings leaving you.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Who else would like to share what's happening? You can if you don't want to talk, you can just put something in the chat, but it's nice to hear people's voices. Colin, do you want to have a go? We'll take you next, Deborah. So. Let me try and unmute you. Hang on. Try now.
That's better. That's better. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have any real profound feeling, just a feeling of lightness.
Yep.
Just a feeling of lightness. That's pretty much what I felt.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good sign. Something's happening. So
okay, cool.
You're not imagining it? Okay. All right, thank you. So good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Who else would like to share how that was? Just unmute on the left, the bottom left. Or message me on the chat, bottom at the bottom. No one else? Okay, we'll do the next bit. Okay. All right. So let's get to it. So what I'd like you to do is close your eyes, and I'd like you to focus on your gift of service, whatever that is, as much as you know at the moment. And don't hold back. Just hold the vision and the feeling in your heart of what that gift of service is. And focus on it, feel it as if it's already done. And don't worry about how you're going to get there. Okay? It's just the mind making up stories. Focus on it as if it's already done. And feel your frequency rise as you do that. And breathing through your mouth, this is really important because that keeps you in the body. Breathing through the nose keeps you in your head. Breathe through your mouth and breathe into the reality of that gift of service. But what we're going to do is we're going to trigger whatever's in your ego, which has been stopping that at turning up. And then we're going to clear it. And we're doing what's called a mainline frequency program chart. What we're doing is we're focusing on where you guys want to go, which is what's brought you here. And don't worry about how to get there. Just focus on it complete, and that will trigger the ego. It'll flush out of the ego all the hidden programs which have been stopping that. Programs like unworthiness, lack of trust, feeling abandoned, low self-esteem, maybe having doubts and feelings of not being good enough. Okay. And whatever comes up, comes up. You don't have to analyze it. You don't even have to have words for it. Just feel whatever comes up. Might be a bit of nausea, might be some discomfort. Okay, might be some distraction, some voice saying you shouldn't be doing this is a waste of time, whatever it is. And I want you to breathe into that, because this is bringing consciousness. This is you bringing that little blue flash of light of consciousness to that red issue, which I showed you on the diagram, because we're going to go and clear that layer for you right now. So just feel that program that comes up. Feel how it operates in your life. Become aware when that program came up. If you have an idea, it might have been when you're a child. You might not be sure when that came up. Open to all aspects of the feeling coming up in your body. It may be very uncomfortable. It's okay. That means you're getting to a program that's uncomfortable, because the ego doesn't want you to go there. Become aware of any attachment the ego has to hanging on to this program, because the ego loves holding on to programs, keeping you back. Become aware of any feelings of being bad for having that program. We all have these. Keep on breathing through your mouth. It's really important. And become aware of any judgment you have with this program. Could be like, I shouldn't have this program. I should have made more progress. Stuff like that. The voice of the ego. And the more you can open to the program, the more you can integrate and heal it. So just breathe gently into it and open to it, even if you can't put words to it. Because then we're going to do what's called a main low frequency program command code. So we're going to do this out loud to make it really strong. So I'd like you to all switch your microphones on. We're going to do this together, because as a group it's very powerful. I'm going to want you to repeat this command code after me. The more voices we hear, the more powerful it will be. Okay, it benefits everybody. Okay. All right. So repeat after me. We ask Saint Germain.
We ask
Yes.
Saint Germain
Germain.
To pour the purple flame.
for the purple
The
flame
first flame
Purple flame.
Through the aura.
through the
Through the
aura
And subtle bodies.
and subtle
subtle
bodies.
bodies.
To burn away all low frequency energies.
Burn
To
away
burn
all
away
low
Away
frequency
all
energies
frequency energies
That we have discovered.
that we have
that we have
discovered,
discovered,
So that new higher level vibrations
so that
So
new
that
higher
new
level
higher
vibrations
vibrations
can be accessed.
can be
Can be
accessed.
Saint Germain and higher self.
Thank you.
Saint Germain. Thank you, higher self.
No, it's just Saint Germain and higher self.
Saint Germain and higher
And
self.
higher self.
Thank you, Saint Germain and higher self.
Please burn out in one go.
Please
Please
burn
Please burn out in one go.
Go.
100% the core issue.
100% the core issue.
Through all levels and dimensions.
through all
Through
levels
all
and
levels
dimensions.
and
All levels
dimensions.
and dimensions.
100% the original cause.
100%
100%
the
the
original
original cause.
cause.
Through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels
Through
and
all
dimensions.
levels and
levels and dimensions.
100% the source of its power.
100% the source of its power.
Through all levels and dimensions.
Through all levels and
Through all
dimensions.
levels and dimensions.
100% all energy attached.
100% all
100%
energies
all energy
attached.
attached.
Through all levels and dimensions.
Through all
Through
levels
all
and
levels and dimensions.
100% all of its effects.
100% all of its
all
effects.
of its effects.
Through all levels and dimensions.
For all
Through
levels,
all
all
levels
levels and dimensions.
and dimensions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, just feel the shift. Gratitude is very important. Gratitude bypasses the ego and opens the flow to source. That's why I say thank you a lot in divine healing. Just keep breathing through your mouth into that, feeling the shift. You might want to yawn. I want to yawn. Keep breathing a little while. Okay. So you can open your eyes now. So I'd like to hear from a few people how it was for you. If you're not speaking, just mute your microphones again, otherwise we get the background noise. So. Colin, how was that? Do you want to start?
Can you hear me?
Yep, real clear.
Oh, yeah, I'm buzzing.
Yep.
I'm really buzzing.
Good.
That was really neat. I enjoyed that.
How was the shift for you?
Oh, it was monumental. It really was. I didn't expect something like that. It was really nice. Just like, kind of like letting go.
Yeah.
Something coming in and something going out. It's just a natural movement. It's very pleasant.
And are you open to sharing what your low frequency program was, what the feeling was that was coming up in you before we did the command code?
It's an ongoing block, a feeling of unworthiness.
Yeah.
Read the Purple Star Astrology many years ago, and I'm a dragon.
Yeah.
They're opening up the book, and it's mainly codes. And on my birthday, it said unskilled.
Yeah.
And that's held me back subliminally from learning. I have a sort of an inbuilt block to learning.
Yeah.
When I grasp something, I grasp it fully, but it takes me a while to get to it. And it has been an ongoing block throughout my life. And it's just, I just feel it shifting. I feel it's gone.
Cool.
It's very nice. Thank
you. Just so you guys, you can watch the video, repeat the video, and just do deeper layers of the program. It will go even deeper every time. Just so you know, you can use this as a healing tool, this video. Hi, Yuka. Thanks for joining us. Okay. So, Jennifer, how was that for you?
Yeah, that was pretty intense. I felt a lot of pressure in my sternum, in my chest, and then heartburn, kind of. I had to stay with it. But I guess the biggest program is I understand and I know exactly what my purpose is and where I should be. It's just, I don't know if it's unworthiness, but it's like my purpose is helping people transition from life into death.
Yeah.
Bearing witness to that and just holding a space. And I always felt like I needed more knowledge, more understanding, more knowing about how to help people transition. And what I'm understanding now is that all I have to do really is bear witness. And so that came up clearly. Like, you really don't have to learn any more about it. You've been learning, you've been experiencing death and dying for most of your life. You already have what you need. You just, they just need you to bear witness. And I always felt like I wasn't prepared enough to take on such a huge, I guess, gift to be able to do that for people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else want to share there how that was? Because everyone will have a different experience. Joanna?
Hello. I have this. I just want to get it out. If I can here, I'll do my video.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go.
We got that.
So the right side of my face from my neck up, it was just, and the pressure was concentrating on the right side of my brain, was just pulsing.
Yeah.
And so what came up was letting go of the how.
Yep.
And the how just went down, and I'll just say it to get it off my chest, was a childhood memory of being threatened when I was 7 years old by my mother that I was going to be sent away to a foster home because I drew and colored on my bedroom walls. And that survival mechanism kicked in, because how am I going to survive with, what do you mean I'm being sent away? That whole, I finally just let it go, and I just feel better of it, expressing it. And that's it.
Yeah, there you go. After all those years, it's gone. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else want to share how that was for them?
And I'm shaking right now just expressing that. My gosh.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. Amber.
Hi guys. What came up for me was, first of all, thank you, I didn't share on the first one. I felt such a change of altitude, and I was yawning. It was really powerful. I couldn't quite come out and speak after that. But for the second one, I know that my purpose has something to do with healing. And I realized that I judge myself a lot for not being healed myself. So is the perception of thinking like, who am I to help anyone else heal if I'm not healed? And really, it's like I'm in healing school. I'm learning about it. I'm processing it. I'm doing it myself, and realizing that that's, I'm not sure exactly how to put it. It's just like the change of perception of like, oh wait, I'm learning about this. I'm not able to do it for others. Something on those lines.
Yeah, it's always the journey of the healer, Amber, that there's two parallel tracks. There's the track of actually learning how to do something, okay, and then feeling not up for it, but then actually delivering the gift at the same time. So if you were to actually start working on others, that would accelerate the process of your own self-healing. It's a process I underwent. You don't have to be perfect to actually get out there and serve. You just give what you can give of your gift with what you've got. But the very act of giving triggers that part of you to self-heal as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you.
So you just start. It's amazing just to start with what you got. Otherwise you'd be dusty and old. Nothing would have happened.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to share how that was for them? Okay, so welcome, Yuka. We're in the middle of a healing process here. So do you want us to say briefly why you're here, just to introduce yourself, so you've been brave enough to show yourself on the video?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm not able to actually adjust my color, so it might look really white for now. But I have read, I've read your book, and I have emailed you also before about buying it on the Amazon in the U.S. And I knew that there is Soul Journey and Soul Path, and it's very in sync with my own personal mission, what you're writing, and I wanted to join a group because I think I probably belong to the same soul group as many other people attending, and your path too. So just trying to help myself awaken and merge my love with everyone here, and so that we can have a group healing.
Okay, thank you. You're most welcome. All right. Anyone else want to share before we move to the next thing?
Sorry.
Okay. No. Okay. Oh no, someone's made it. I got a message here. So, all right. JD Peterson, how you just said you're happy to join. Yeah, thank you. All right. So, what we're going to do now, the other thing that affects us a lot is past lives. Okay, 70 to 80% of what we actually work through is stuff processing from past lives. That's which often answers the question of why have I got so much karmic stuff and drag? God, what have I done to create all this? Well, that's the reason why. So what I want you to do is that I want you to get close your eyes. Okay, and focus on your gift of service as you did before, but with the intention of becoming aware of what past lives are holding you back. Okay, so it's going to trigger the ego to show you, and the soul to show you a few things. But we're actually going to look at a past life chart in a little while, but I want you to spend another minute or two just having that intention. Focus on the gift with the intention of the past lives stopping you, which are programmed into you, from getting to that gift. Okay? Because we're going to go and clear some other stuff now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And this is a past life chart from the Divine Healing Manual. And these are some pretty unpleasant ways to die, but when we die, we often repeat it many times, and this can impact how we feel about things, especially in abundance. So I'm going to scan through this page of nasty deaths. If one of these jumps out at you, I want you to write it down, or at least take a mental note of it. Okay? Because we're going to go and clear it. One layer of what may be holding you back. Okay? All right. You may not have any of them at all, but for some of you, some of them may resonate to you. It's usually it'll jump off the page. You say, "Oh, I'm putting a straw. My eyes are being drawn into that." Okay. All right. And if it's not one of these, if you've just got a feeling of something which has come up for you, just stay with that. Okay. I'm just giving this as a bit of extra input for you. Okay. When you've got it clear on what that life is, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to tune in and ask your higher self how many lifetimes you're involved, and a number's just going to drop into your mind. And the first number that comes in is the number of times you had that experience or you died that way. And then we're going to together do a command code to actually clear those lives. Just breathe into your mouth, into that feeling. It's going to come up in your cells, whatever this is. Okay, everyone switch your microphones on who's prepared to, because we're going to do this command code together. It's more powerful when we do it as one voice, okay? Okay. So repeat after me. So stay breathing into that feeling. Say, higher self, please clear, heal, and integrate.
Please clear, heal, and integrate
all these files and memories.
All files and memories.
Including all cellular memories.
Including all cellular memories.
The DNA.
Of DNA.
And the subatomic levels.
Subatomic levels.
DNA.
I am now ready to heal.
I am ready to heal.
All traumatic lifetimes.
All traumatic lifetimes.
Blocking the manifestation.
Blocking the manifestation.
Of my gift of service.
Of my gift of service.
And preventing me from trusting in this gift of service.
Preventing me from
trusting in this gift of service.
At all levels and dimensions.
At all levels
and dimensions.
All time frames,
all time
frames,
realities,
realities,
and universes.
and
and
universes.
universes.
Okay, just breathe into your mouth. Feel the energy being detached from you. Feel the karmic connections leaving. Keep breathing. Just be conscious as this layer leaves. You may feel lighter. You might be feeling like you've been uplifted a little. You may feel expanded. Okay, repeat after me. I command
I command
that any soul fragments
that any soul fragments
held with these memories
held with these memories
are now returned to me,
are now returned to me,
fully whole and intact,
fully whole,
as appropriate.
as appropriate.
I welcome these soul fragments back.
I welcome these soul fragments back.
So allow them to return to you.
Allow them.
And it's just me giving you some instructions. You don't have to repeat that, but okay, repeat after me. I command
I command
that the whole holographic matrix
that the whole holographic
matrix
be repaired
be repaired
through all layers and levels,
through all layers and
lines and levels,
then brought into full alignment,
brought into full alignment,
integration,
integration,
and balance
and
and balance,
to allow for wholeness to emerge.
to allow the
to
wholeness
allow
to
the
emerge.
wholeness to
Allow
emerge.
the wholeness to emerge.
Thank you.
wholeness to emerge.
Thank you.
Just embrace the shift. Just breathing into it. You might feel yourself expanding at the subatomic level. Feel some weight lifting off as those past lives leave your body, you leave your fields. The files are dissolving. Okay, that was quite a deep clearing there. So now I want you to open your eyes and we're going to infuse some energetic nutrition on this page here in Divine Healing to help you integrate. Okay. So this is the command code we're going to use, but there's amino acids, essential fatty acids, and there's a few more categories below. So I want you to look at this page as I go through slowly, and one of them is going to jump out at you, and that's the frequency of nutrition you need to integrate the deep clearing we've just done, okay? You don't have to understand what it means, let alone pronounce it properly. It's okay. Okay. It's just pure frequency. There's minerals and vitamins down here. I'll go up and down a couple of times so you get a chance to look at it all. Okay. Go once more, and we'll do the command code together. This will sort of settle your systems down. Okay, everyone got the nutrition? Yep. If you haven't, let me know. You haven't opened the parts. Okay, so the command code. Repeat after me. Higher self.
Higher self.
Higher self.
Please encode these nutrients
Please encode these nutrients
in the perfect balance
in the perfect balance
Balance.
that is required,
that is required.
and clear and align
Clear and align
all pathways
all pathways
for maximum assimilation,
for maximum
assimilation,
absorption,
absorption,
and utilization.
and utilization.
Okay, just feel the energy shift. Let your body just begin to let go and relax. Okay. Might feel relieved. Breathing through your mouth. Okay, to open your eyes now. We'll have a little feedback. So, Yuka, how was that for you?
It's good. I actually don't feel anything psychically, or things like this. I never felt anything before. But this time, I did feel something. So, I mean, I tried passive regression. I've tried a lot of things and felt blocks, and didn't understand why. But this time I did feel something. Like when you asked about, how many times did that happen or spotting, something did jump out to me a bit. So I'm very happy. So thank you very much. And I do feel a little bit of an energetic shift.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. All right. Who else would like to share how that was? Switch on your mic. I had to mute you guys because there was a bit too much background noise. But you can switch your mic on again if you want to speak. Colin, do you want to go?
Nothing earth-shattering, just a little buzzing.
Yeah.
Again, the lightness and what you were saying about the expansiveness. I felt the expansiveness. I felt like energetically growing bigger, stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the energy body becoming more aware of it.
Yeah.
And it becoming more tangible. It's the best way I can describe it, really.
Okay.
Being more in touch with it. Does that make sense?
It does, totally.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
That's pretty much it. Thanks.
Okay. Jennifer, how are you doing?
Yeah, that was pretty intense. So I got clearly that my block is that in my past life, I was persecuted, tortured, and murdered for doing that kind of work. And when you asked the number, it just popped out 5 times. I've lived through this 5 times where I have tried to, where I have done the work and given my gift, and I've been, the biggest one was tortured and prosecuted and then murdered. And that
Strong, wasn't it? Yeah.
Less.
before you even said, look at the word that pops out, it just did instantly.
Mm.
Wow. Where do I put that? Where do I put that?
Well, that's about being aware of it and letting it go. See, divine healing is very surgical. If it comes that clearly, you'll probably forget what you've done tonight, which is perfect because you don't need to hang on to it because there's no residue. It's actually surgically removes programs. You just feel better. You don't know why. You just feel better. So
Wow.
stuff works. It's there, then it's gone. So it's important not to look back because the ego always wants to recreate something. So you look forward. Now what am I going to? What's the next step? What's my next heart-based step with this?
And then the vitamins and minerals were cysteine and B12. They just jumped out.
Yeah.
They just.
How'd that feel for them to go on?
I felt the pain in my sacrum subside.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to share how that experience was? Just switch your mic on. Joanna? Yep, go for it, Joanna.
I am right there with Jennifer. That was intense. I was literally, well, first of all, I'm thankful that I can turn off my screen because I was literally shaking. And The first thing that came up was rope around my neck.
Yep.
Was just being, that was the first vision I got before you had us look at that screen on, which gun down, jumped, and obliterated.
Obliterated, yeah.
Thank you. I'm so, no wonder I'm talking about my throat chakra so much, because it's all been holding there. But I feel lighter. That was, and it's behind me. And just able to express it is just, wow. And then glutamine, biotin, and carnitine.
Yep.
Came off.
Yep.
Woo!
How was that when they went in?
What's that?
How was it when they infused into your system?
The first thing, comforting. I don't know. That's the only word that's coming up. It's just,
Yeah, you sound like you had a really good shift.
Yes.
Thank you. Rosalind, how was that?
Quite powerful, because the second you said, you know, sort of what's happened to you, and for me also, it's because I've been doing my work and, in inverted commas, shining my light so I was visible to other people. I'd been burned and I'd been drowned, and then when you said numbers, it was instantly 9 for burnt and 5 for drowned. I always knew I'd, you know, been put to the fire before, because I'm terrified of fire.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the drownings, but when you said about retrieving the soul fragments, they came back so fast and so powerfully. It's like, hurrah at last kind of thing.
Yep.
So I feel more complete. And then I was really surprised when you said sort of pick out on this list and then just allow it to come. And there was this almost like an instant uplift. I can't believe it was so fast, and it was so, you know, you have to put your brain to one side, don't you, and trust the process. And
Yep. Okay. Anyone else like to share their experience with that? We're done, are we? Okay.
I can speak.
Okay, you go.
I mentioned earlier that I actually never see vision, but I heard from other people, and I kind of know too, that I probably have died many lives for whatever gifts or mission I have. But I'm just really happy that, like, for a few years not being able to see something, or I have certain gifts but not with the vision part, but I was able to experience it and also feel tingly from my arms. Like, I'm sensitive with energy, so I felt it on my arm. I felt it from this I've never felt before, from my waist down to from my first chakra all the way to like my waist. So I am happy that I know it works. So next time I have just to, come join in the very beginning, and I look forward to that. I just want to thank everyone.
All right, thank you. All right, one last person before we finish. Okay. Thank you everybody for participating. So we'll say a few more things now. Let's finish off. Glad it was so helpful. Okay, so just going down to here. Any other questions about divine healing? So you just had a direct experience of divine healing. It's based on asking, you shall receive, and basically the way it works is that in divine healing, we working with the DNA here to actually empower you in the first level of it, of divine healing, which is a 4-day training. It's about clearing a lot of the stuff you've just been working on, so you can empower yourself, claim your life back, move out of the struggle and move into the grace. And the way it works is that We've channeled to Almira, Shakira, and Mary, and they worked together, channeled us over a whole year from source. I mean, different groups of beings. And they came up with this chart here. There's 26 different charts in Divine Healing, which you learn over 4 days. And I'm trying to get this right here. And so basically you work with angelic frequencies, you work with deep clearing programs like clearing blocks of God, fears, balance your chakras, clearing interferences which you've had, hidden agendas, work with our judgments, work with our psychological conflicts. That's the most powerful chart in level 1. We did main low frequency programs here. You did some nutrition. You did past life deaths. And you find out where things come from. Because when you target where they come from, then it's easy to clear it out. We repair the subtle bodies. Sabotage is a very powerful one. How we sabotage our life. Clearing those. Releasing blocks to positive living. Clearing trauma from the past. In this life and other lives. Find out what your archetype is. Clearing the toxicity from vaccines and toxins. Finding out where the issues are in the body. So basically what happens is that we spend 4 days learning all these charts where I explain the chart, demonstrate it, and then you practice on each other, giving and receiving. So you get a massive 4-day healing intensive. And that will shift you, depending on your intention, to wherever you want to go. So that's what we actually do on this with this work. And so it's like you've had now, but you do it for 4 days. So imagine how much you're going to clear in that time. Okay. So it's good fun. And the way it works, you want to find out more about that here. You can have individual sessions with me, which is just here, which are like free up your life with divinehealing.com. They're like $240 a session to £178. It's 2 hours. We do it on Zoom. Or a much more cost-effective way is to actually come on the training if you're drawn to it on the 8th to 11th of June. It's in England in person, plus on Zoom. Most people will be on Zoom because it's global. I did one last week and there was actually no one from England. They were everywhere in the world, Japan, all over Europe, America, Canada. And that runs at 12:30 to 8:30 UK time, 7:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon Eastern time. And that's deposit is $225 or about $666 approximately. And that's only equivalent to about 5.5 hours of sessions with me, and that's the divinehealingtraining.com. And that will give you a tool to clear 80% of your own issues, just like you've done tonight, whenever you need to. So you can get on with your life and get into your flow. So you don't have to suffer anymore doing the same old thing. And the other 20% of issues are core ego programs where you need an experienced practitioner like me or one of the other divine healing practitioners who's done it a long time to hold space so you can get really deep into something which is the core of your ego. But it's designed to be very empowering because it's called Empower Yourself, so that you get it when you need it to do it. It doesn't cost you a lot less. Then you can start peeling that ego onion and get back to that love that you are and create the life that you desire, which you can feel deeply within yourselves. And this is how I did it. This is how I got to where I am now, doing this 2 or 3 times a week, or whenever a program came up, I just peeled my onion and my life's totally different now. Completely different, permanently different, and it flows a lot better. I went from being very isolated and a lot of debt to having a really good community around me, a lot of supportive people in my business, just connecting with lovely people and just enjoying life much more when previous to that it was pretty miserable. So that's been my direct experience of learning divine healing. So I hope you find something here of interest. So if there's any final questions, the floor's open before we finish. And I will send you the edited YouTube video later. Okay, we'll just edit out the Deborah's parts which you requested. If there's any final questions, just let me know. Just switch your mic on and ask. Or you can email me later. It's up to you entirely. All right, we're done. Okay. All right, so thank you very much, everybody. The video will be out in a couple of days' time once I've processed it. And if you need to clear more, watch it again. It'll do the same thing. Okay. Thank you for coming, and thank you for everyone's contribution.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Nicolas.
Good night.
Thanks, Nicolas.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
So to do the divinehealingtraining.com to do the private sessions with you, I just go there?
Yeah.
And it's a scheduler, or you just
Or
send you an-
it's free up your life with divine healing if you want to have a session. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Free up your life with divinehealing.com if you want a session. And that takes you to the page that explains how it works. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Namaste.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.